Namaste. So this video is going to do about moon phases. So every single month we have moon phases that brings out certain types of energy, that brings into our world certain types of energies, and depletes, gets rid of certain types of energies on a cycle every single month. So we're going to talk about how to utilize the moon phases through each month, through the cycles, in order to excel your ascension, okay? So every single month there's a full moon, there's a transition to new moon, transition to full moon, all the time. So the way I've been seeing it and the way I've understood it is every single month we can live an entire lifetime and of understanding ourselves. So as in the beginning of the month to a full moon, that is an accelerator to finding out the things that we need to work on. So a full moon always brings up all the negative energies all the way up to the surface. Everything that maybe we've been working on, maybe you've seen it in your life, that every single month something keeps reoccurring in your life, something keeps coming up you don't understand. Maybe it can be in finances, relationship, with different arguments. Maybe it's the same type of subject that keeps coming up over and over and over again within the month. And if you actually start to realize and see when these items are coming up for you, and you'll start to see it's probably into the coming up to a full moon, or the transition from after a full moon going into a new moon. So into that little phase, going up to a full moon, going into a new moon, there is I would say a heel, a heel of emotions, heel of feelings. Maybe you start to feel, and during the full moon, it's proven that suicides are a lot larger, murders are a lot larger, theft, different crimes. Our emotions are heightened dramatically during a full moon. And if you are a master and understand the whole point of utilizing everything around you to learn more about who you are, so I can rid this vessel of the negative energies, you can see that how they would transition into whenever all those things happen, you recognize them, you accept them, you work through them, and then when it comes to a transition to a new moon, it's like everything is washed away, everything is purified, and then you start anew. And then the next month comes up, the transition up to a full moon, emotions start to come higher, things start to happen more, and feelings start to arise. And then maybe if it's different things that are happening, then you can recognize those things as, those are the new things that are coming up. Those are the new things I need to work on myself. And then you transition to a new moon to where everything is washed away again. And you feel good, you feel relieved, and those washing away, those negative energies, those other polarities are now gone. Now, if you can do this once, every single month, and understand astrologically what these phases mean and the energies and everything that go around them, you can utilize that just like whenever we're walking around every single day and we come up to an argument, or somebody says, I don't like that about you, I don't like that about you, or whatever. That's just a reflection of, maybe you don't like that about yourself because you recognize those things. It made you feel a certain way. You need to start recognizing why things make you feel the way they do. Because if they make you feel a certain way that you don't understand, well, it's for a reason. You need to look more into that and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Why is this making me feel this way? Why is this person making me feel this way? Why is this situation making me feel this way? And take it back and say, okay, well, what's the moon trend? What's the transitions of the moon phases? Is it coming up to a full moon? Is it coming down from a full moon? Because those are very significant. So the whole point of a full moon, the full moon will bring out everything that you need to work on with yourself. Okay, and if you're aware within the moment, just like Ed Hart totally says, be present. A lot of everybody says be present, because the really, really important thing to do is to be present. If you're not present and not aware of this moment, you're not going to see the things that are in the moment that are coming out for you. Okay, so whenever we're talking about moon phases, we're talking about full entire lifetimes. Whenever we talk about full entire lifetimes, we're just talking about different cycles of events, cycles of information, cycles of energy, cycles of feelings that all kind of go together. So whenever what I do is recognizing these things. Say, okay, well, when's the full moon, when's the new moon? And just know, okay, well, if I start to feel a certain way, and I need to recognize why I feel those things within those time periods in a month. Because we have a calendar month, we look at those cycles of pieces. So if you can see it's all just a cycle, okay, a new month is a new cycle or for a full moon and to a new moon to rise. So everything that is happening within that full moon is bringing all within this vessel, the human body and the human mind, the thoughts that are occurring, recognize why the thoughts that are happening, maybe look at your dreams, start really journaling your dreams, and then really feeling the feelings that you're having throughout this every single day, because those things are the things that you need to rid yourself of. Now, whenever you really start to feel these things and understand and start to be aware of what's really going on, it becomes really, really easy. And it doesn't give you so much suffering anymore, because you start to realize, oh, this is not me. This is not, this may be me, this may be from my past, but this is not, I'm feeling this way, and there's a reason why I feel this way. Because whenever these things happen, recognizing is really important, because there's a lot of confusion that happens with a lot of it. Because you may wake up one day and be like, why do I feel this way? I feel like I just feel depressed or anxious out of no apparent reason that I see. Well, there is a reason you feel like that, and the reason is probably not that big of a deal. And in all reality, it's just the releasing of those negative energies, the releasing of those negative polarity energies, so you can make more room for the new stuff that's coming in with the new moon. Because in the new moon, if you have an intention that you set. So the full moon is the bringing about all of the negative polarities, all the different things that you need to release within yourself so you don't have any blockages. Now, as it kind of goes down to the new moon, that's when you really need to start setting your intentions on what am I going to learn? What am I here to learn? Maybe start talking to your guides, the things around you, and having a larger awareness. What do I want to put out there do I want abundance? Do I want to have good relationships? What is something that I really want to bring into my life? Because if you're not getting rid of any of these stuff within the full moon in these different phases and these different cycles, whenever it comes the new moon and the intention is set out there to bring something into your life, if you're not getting rid of something, there's no room for it to fit in. So it's really important that whenever you recognize how you're feeling, what's going on within my life. Why do I see this the way I do? And if it comes off to a negative, well, that is it's like a notification that comes up on your phone. Ding! Hey, I should really look at that and see and ask myself the questions. Why do I feel this way? Why is this going on? Whenever you ask yourself a question, do not answer yourself right back in your mind. You need to just sit there and wait. Maybe the answer won't come right away. Maybe it's not an answer, bing, right in your head. Or it may take a day or so, and then as you're being aware, the answer will come. And it probably will be in a way that you don't expect it to come, because expectation doesn't have growth. You cannot go through life with expectation. Go through life with not knowing that you don't know anything whatsoever, or you don't know what's going to happen, because the things that are amazing for you won't be something that you expect it to come that way. Because if you expect something to come a certain way, well, that means it was probably pre-thought up, and it didn't come from a divine. Because the divine likes to surprise you with different amazing things to enter your life in ways that we never thought possible. And that's really the way it works. So if you have an expectation and it goes along with your expectations, it's probably not the best thing for you in the first place, because it's something that was your old ways, you didn't transcend them, it was your old ways, your old path, the old way of thinking, and that type of thing. Maybe the ego got involved and said, oh, I'm gonna make this film make me feel a little bit better because, oh, I expect this. And then the cycle begins of expectation, and then when something happens that are against that expectation, you have a lot of suffering. It makes you feel, oh, well, that wasn't right. It goes against my identity. Well, that's a bunch of BS, because just don't expect anything to happen. Just know it's going to, but just not in the ways that you understand. So going back to utilizing the moon phases for your ascension. Now, you can really progress quickly, very quickly, whenever you can understand this very, very, very simple thing. And knowing what the moon phases are actually doing, the energies that are bringing into your life, and then the full moon, going up to a full moon, coming down from a full moon and into a new moon, and how the cycle works energetically. Once you realize how it works energetically, then you can, it's like knowing the rules to the game. Once you know how the game works, well, then you can play it and have fun with it. So once you understand that I can use the moon phases every single month throughout these cycles to better my ascension, it makes complete sense. It takes away the suffering. It takes away the confusion that you may be going through. And instead, it brings up a higher awareness. Oh, I'm feeling like this. Oh, it's because of full moon. That means I need to understand. I need to really look into this a lot more of what's going on. I feel this way. Oh, the full moon's coming up. It's bringing this feeling about, and that's why it's coming about. That's something I need to really look into. Why do I feel this way? Why is this coming up now? And as you kind of go through, then you'll start to feel, you'll feel lighter. You'll feel like, oh, I'm not being so weighed down. Because I know whenever a full moon, and it's a really powerful full moon, I feel really weighted down. Almost like gravity just took something and put it on top of me. Just feel emotions, everybody's emotions. But that's okay too. If you feel weighed down during a full moon, or weighed down during something not really powerful astrological event, because you're feeling all of everybody's emotions. That shows how connected you are to everything around you. Now it's about understanding, how can I utilize this in my life? How can I because everything that you recognize, you can utilize it for the best, for your path. So a real master will understand the cycles of the moon, understand that astrologically these things are really important, and you use those in the game of life, because you can live lifetimes within moon phases. Brings up emotions, brings up different things you get rid of, and set your intentions, and now you bring more things in my life. So the more things that are coming up in your life that are suffering or you see as like uncomfortable or overwhelming or confusing or negative, that means something, if you can just rid yourself of that by accepting those things, understanding why you feel those things, asking the right questions about yourself, getting yourself into meditation, doing a lot of breath work and tapping in more in depth to yourself, and then ridding yourself of those energies, because all it is energies, emotions, feelings. It's just different energies. That's all it is. It's not situations that making up stories in your head that make me feel uncomfortable. No, that is an illusion. That doesn't exist. The things that we bring up in our head that, oh, that person did this to me, I'm going to be mad at this person. No. It's not about that person. It's about how you feel about what's going on with that situation that's coming up. And it's just that energy that's blocked, so it's got you stuck there at that moment. So just because the energy's blocked and it's got stuck there, it doesn't, that all the stories and thoughts and things in your head, all that is made up. None of it's real. It's fake. None of it's real at all. It just shows, if you can recognize, oh, these thoughts are happening in this sort of way, that puts me in a blockage somewhere in my body, and that should show you where the blockage is, what's going on, and then if you find out where the blockage is, then you know how to get rid of it. And then once you get rid of that negative energy, because that's all it is, it's not thoughts, stupid stories, those are illusions, it doesn't make any sense, the physical mind is not who you are. Use that as your mastery, and then once you rid yourself of that negative energy, now you can set your intention and have now you can have a knowing, not expecting how something's going to work, but having an expectation that something is going to happen, but it's not going to happen the way you think it's going to happen, because thinking is a bunch of BS and it's illusion. There's a whole other way of thinking, that's a whole other video. But hopefully that gave you a little bit more insight as in utilizing the moon phases for ridding that physical vessel of those negative polarity energies and making way for setting your intentions through a new moon in order to make room for more positive energies with that intention set to keep on moving forward. And then the next month happens again, and if something comes up, then it may be less and less and less, only if you are doing things the proper way. If you're going through every single month seeing the same stuff, seeing the same things over and over and over again, and you feel as though you don't understand why it's keep coming up, well, bluntly, it's because you're not dealing with stuff that you're supposed to deal with. You're just shrugging it under a rug, you're not being aware, you're not dealing with it. To be bluntly honest, that's exactly just what it is. But if you can recognize what it is, then you can use it for your benefit. And it is your benefit. It's not thoughts, emotions, it's just different types of energies, different forms of energies that make you feel a certain way within your body. Whenever your energies are a certain place within your body, that's the emotion it brings up. And that's it. Once you have that understanding of your energy body and your prana, whatever you want to call it, and then you have that driving force to understand what these things are and how to rid it, then it becomes very, very easy. It does become like a game, because it takes away the pressure, it takes away all the negative things that are around that. So next full moon, when it comes up, well, we're going to be having one in July, so as the one in July comes up, you'll look great, you look beautiful.
Side note.
Yes.
4th of July, lunar eclipse.
4th of July, lunar eclipse. That means lots of meditation, because lunar eclipses have a lot to do with the fluctuating with the water. Water, if you look on a different types of lunar eclipses, the moon phases and such, you'll know that it has the tides will come in and out, and the waves will be bigger, different things like that. Well, when you take that into consideration, we're made of 72% water. Our physical vessels are 72% water. So how do you think, if it brings in the tides and the high waves with these lunar eclipses, or these different lunar ways about things, how much do you think we're going to have a lunar eclipse on the 4th of July, and then the full moon comes about? It's about being aware and what it actually is doing to the elements of your body. So be aware of that, because it does make a difference. It does make a difference, okay? So hopefully that was very, very informational. And now hopefully you can utilize these phases, understanding the eclipse, even in the solar eclipses and such. It brings about different types of energies, but it all is only energies. That's all it is. So having an understanding of the truth of what that is, utilizing those things to your benefit, and then amazing things will happen in your life and you will ascend. And it will happen very quickly, very, very quickly, if you allow it to. Get out of the way of yourself so you can make room for what you are meant to do. Namasi Vaya, Vaya Namasi.